Hey, welcome back. So we went ahead and finished the base run on this smoker, took all the probes off of it and got it set up. So the first thing we're going to address in this video and rerun is going to be both of the lids here. First, the pellet hopper lid. Like I said, that can get kind of annoying when the wind finds it. We're also going to put a seal kit on this lid, and I'll kind of show you why after we address this hopper lid. So the first things first, we're going to address the hopper lid. To address the hopper lid, I just bought some generic magnets off of Amazon. And I'm going to place them in the corner where I want it. So now with both those magnets kind of placed where we're going to want them, we'll go ahead and take this lid, level it out, and just push it down. So now we got magnets on those lids there. So as we put this down and push that down, we're going to have to add a couple more in there to actually hold it all the way. But we'll be able to put the magnets on here so it's going to hold that lid down nice and firm when we put that pellet hopper down so we don't get that rattle. Like I said, the wind catches it just perfectly and it can get annoying. So we'll go ahead and keep putting magnets on here. So there, now you can see that as I push down on that pellet hopper, it's nice and firm. So depending on how hard you want it to be to lift this up when you're adding pellets, if you have issues with it blowing up in the wind, as I know I did a couple times, you can add more magnets as needed underneath there. But right now I got 2 on each side, so there's 4 total on the bottom of that lid, just to, like I said, kind of secure this down a little better. So that's good there. Next thing we're going to address is going to be the main lid of the smoker here. So I will walk around here and I'm going to zoom in, and you'll see the main reason of concern on this lid. So as I zoom in, and I'm going to pick you up and carry you over there, you can see all the way across this front line from that session we ran and me been cooking with it for a couple of weeks here. You can already see I got the brown from that smoke line forming up on my stainless steel. And that's because of the front leak that we have from the lid not sealing properly. So we're going to address that with a very simple fix. I personally have done this to all of the smokers I do. I have Traegers, I have the Yoder out back that we have the 640, but I just use some smoker gasket. This has always been the one I've bought. It's just on Amazon. It's just a very good smoker tape here that has sticky tape on one side. So we'll take that. We're going to rough these up a little bit so this tape sticks good, and we'll line the inside of the lid here. And I think I'm going to drop one across here because that is kind of recessed there. So I'm going to go ahead and go get my rag, and we're going to try to clean that up a little bit before we put that down, just to make sure we get a good seal with this smoker gasket and that double-sided tape. So I'm going to use one of my favorite cleaners of all time. I was a mechanic for a while, so if you're a mechanic, you know brake clean is your best friend. So we'll take that, spray that on my rag, and we're just going to go ahead and clean up this whole area where we're going to put that gasket. And make sure we get it good and clean so we can get a good seal with the stuff we're going to put down there. So we get a good long life out of that smoker gasket and we get a good seal. So there, that side's pretty clean. Now we'll come over here. All right. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to clean the front side of this grill also. Part of the reason we're going to put some smoker gasket, we're actually going to double layer it down here. When you look at the lid that's closed here, it's actually a pretty good gap on the front side of this grill. Not saying that's all grills that Z Grills makes, but I do have a pretty good gap on this one specifically. So we're going to go ahead and clean that off. And we'll make sure we get this back lip real nice and clean. That way we can go ahead with some gasket on the bottom of this grill too. Just so we get a good and tight seal. So with that, we're going to call that good there. So now I'm just going to take our smoker gasket, go ahead and peel it. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with the bottom here. So like I said, we're just going to take that to that bottom of that stainless. Make sure we get all the way to the bottom there. And we're going to run this along the front of this grill. Now, most of the time, I don't like running this on the grill itself. When you're pulling your food out over it, the grease will drip on this and things like that. So typically when you see me do a gasket kit, you're going to see me try to do it on the lid only. That way when you pick the lid up, all of that gasket's up there and it doesn't collect that grease as you're taking food in and out. But like I said, on this particular grill, not saying it's all Z grills that have this gap, but up front here, there was a pretty wide gap. So we're going to go ahead and seal both sides and see if we can't get it to seal up pretty good for our next session here. So we'll just take the scissors, go ahead and give that a trim. Go to this side, and I'm just going to run the top here. So just kind of run it on the edge there. We're not too particular. Get a good cut there. And make sure we run our fingers over it again. Make sure we get it nice and stuck down so we don't have it coming off. So we're also going to run it down the sides here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Push it up into the corner real nice. Make sure we get it in there. Okay. So with that, we got the lid seals done. And we'll go ahead for fun and close it down. And see what we think. I feel like we got a pretty good seal all the way around. I don't think there's any adjustment in those hinges, but we'll kind of loosen those hinges up and see if we can't loosen the back of that up a little bit to let a little bit more, to get a little more clearance in the front for that gasket. And see if that won't come up a little bit. I don't think we're going to get much. These hinges really aren't adjustable in any way, shape, or form, but like I said, it's always worth a try if you think you can get a better seal. So now, with that, we'll go ahead, call that good for today, and we'll fire this up tomorrow when it's nice outside again, and we'll run it for another 3-hour session and see if we can't see if that hood seal doesn't help get some of those temp swings we talked about in the first video out of this smoker.